Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Motorsport Manager, the Underdog Challenge. Now we are in for a quite fun race as we have a lot to win here and also a lot to lose, of course, as we are running the Guildford Grand Prix today. That will be the 7th Grand Prix of the season and also the only time we race in Britain, but actually a very important race, because we have this sponsorship from Stonewall Bank, which is a 5-star sponsorship. And there is actually a home bonus for this race. As you can see, we can get ×3 our bonus pool if we actually manage to make it first. So that is going to be the goal of this episode. We want to make that big cash bonus, of course. And let's see if we can do it. We have a good chance, I think, because we have Verhofsky here, our new driver since last episode, who is 21st. That means he's going to be starting at the front of the grid, giving him a very good chance, I think, of finishing first, especially with the car upgrades that we are still doing. And yeah, we're going to give it our all, basically, to try and make that happen, of course. Now, we are 17 points behind Ruiz Motorsport. That was 22 before, so we bridged the gap a little bit, at least by 5 points. But let's see if we can do well also in this one. Looks like it will rain on race day. Top speed is crucial, that doesn't matter. The medium speed corners, unfortunately, we're not very good at, so we'll have to see how we can make it work. But luckily, 2 of the crucial parts are spec parts, so that is quite good for us. Tire wear will be very high, fuel burn low, and the laps are 23, so a rather short race. We should probably be able to do 3 stints on super softs, if not 2 on super softs and maybe 1 on softs. But anyway, that's not going to matter much depending on the rain, of course. Could very well be that... yeah, we'll have to go on inters or wet, depending on what happens. So we'll have to see. A quick update then on our drivers. As you can see, yeah, we have Verhofsky now. Last episode, I negotiated a contract with him that I didn't know. We didn't scout him, so I didn't know exactly what to give him. But I did remember from a previous save when I got him what he approximately wanted, when I also got him around 3 stars. I had a look, I reloaded the save, quickly scouted him, and tried to renegotiate the contract, because I always save in between my episodes in case I ever corrupt the save file or something like that. And I did a check. I think I could have gotten his salary a little bit cheaper, and maybe also the signing on bonus, but yeah, I think we got it pretty fairly, and thanks to signing him a race earlier, we were of course able to get that podium place. We got the first place with Verhofsky. He immediately won his first race for us. And that also managed to get us 1.8 million right there. So I think that was more than worth it. Obviously, I don't recommend just trying to sign anyone when you don't have a clue about them. But yeah, in our case, in this case, I kind of remembered what his demands were back then. And I did overpay a little, but I think, considering the circumstances, that was quite fine. Okay, this was a very good crew member, so let's quickly pick him up. You are also pretty good, especially for the rear jack, and your fault or mistake chance is also not so much, so let's pick you up. And you two are just, well, you are interesting also for the rear jack, but we just picked someone up who's better at that, so not much point, and same for you. You're just not good enough. Okay. Let's quickly do our mistake chance. Normally I do it off camera, but I forgot this time. So let's just do it now. We just picked someone up for the rear jack, so let's do that. I guess, well... I guess you then. You're also pretty good at the tires and refueling, but... do it like this for now. You have a 1% mistake chance, so let's pick you up. You 2%. Put you in. 2%. Oof, we don't really have anyone better, actually. That's quite bad. Well, I guess let's just go for the 1% and a little bit better chance then. That's still better than nothing. And for you, we also don't really have an alternative. Well, we could do this. It's not a huge downgrade. Also something like 0.15 seconds. That's okay. Alright, as far as our car goes, in 6 hours we'll get a new gearbox. We need to immediately start working on that to get it ready for the next race, as we will definitely need it. Apart from that, there isn't much to be done. Like I said, I want to start saving some cash, and I hope that Podium for your team is a great result. Borisovsky raced supremely. How do you feel? We could say that we're a genius, but let's make our driver a little bit happy. He did deserve it. He raced great. And that also just shows you when there's no driver aids in the rules, it's very important to just have some decent drivers. Otherwise, you're not very likely to win unless you have a very good car. All right, our new part is ready. It starts off with some decent reliability, so that is quite good. We now have 2 gearboxes that are very good. This one is, of course, has a risk of some rule break, so we definitely want to upgrade the one that we're running now. But also let's start immediately working, of course, on the performance, get it as high as we can. But yeah, let's wait till our cars are actually repaired, which should be now. Yep. And let's start working then. We didn't have too much to do, to be honest, for our people. Yeah, we were still improving this one, but frankly, that's not very necessary anymore now that we have 2 great ones. All of this reliability work I'm not too bothered about either. Reliability just hasn't been a concern of us for quite some time now. So let's make sure that we can get something like this. This means the gearbox will be at 100% just before the race. It will not be at its maximum performance yet, but I'd rather be able to use it anyway and also have a little bit of a performance bonus than not be able to use it. We could do something like this. Maybe like this. This will probably get it to 95% or something. That's good enough, to be honest. If we swap... Oh, that's not very good. Okay, let's do... Yeah, we'll do it like that. Good enough. Alright. Let's keep going then. Yeah, like I said, I really want to start saving some money. We're not earning too much per race now, but hopefully if we're going to start racking up these bonuses by winning, then that will at least get us quite some money. And that is mainly because if we do promote next season, there's quite a lot we'll need to do before that and even after that, for which we'll of course need quite the capital. So yeah, that's what we'll be saving up for, to have a bit of a war chest. And let's see how that goes. The handling development center is upgraded. Great. Almost 12 hours. That will be good for our suspension. Very nice to have when we get into the Asia Pacific. Right now, I don't care about parts anymore. We're not going to be making new parts, I think, for the rest of this season. I think with what we have now, that should be good enough. Yes, our suspension is quite bad, but there also isn't really any good parts to already pick up. We already did a few. Yes, we could start doing illegal parts, but well, what is the point in that? We're not going to be running those anyway. Yes, we could also do a legendary part, or probably not, because we don't have that. No, we can't yet. But yeah, we need to upgrade the building a little bit further. But yeah, there's just not much point anymore. We've done most of our upgrades. And next season we'll need that money anyway, so let's not bother. Let's have a look at our new handling development center. Looks quite nice. Not a very big building, actually. But yeah, looks a little bit neater than it was before, and our entire factory slash compound is actually starting to get, well, looking like quite nicely in shape. The factory itself could maybe still use a bit of an upgrade. This looks quite futuristic, of course, but apart from that, all the buildings are looking quite nice. And there's still, of course, room to expand a bit more. We have a few buildings that we could still go for. The test track is probably the next on the docket, because I have had a little look already, of course, at the Asia Pacific. If we do promote, we will need a test track, I think, to start improving our engine. I don't think we'll be spec parting the engine in that case. We would instead maybe spec part something else, or try and vote in some driver aids and then switch to cheaper drivers again to sort of stabilize financially in the Asia Pacific. We'll have to see. I'm not sure, but yeah, that will be for then. In the meantime, I just want to get as much money as possible. Now, as you can see, the bonus pool for getting first is insane, 5.4 million. That means we're going to be earning 6.4 if we are going to actually achieve it. If not, we only get 1 million. That's not too good. I think even this one is also times 2 or something, because normally this is, I think, 650 or something, or 670 that we can earn. So this must also be a home bonus. Yeah, times 2.2. Interesting. But yeah, we're not going to be doing that, of course. let's make sure that our parts are good. How do we do on that new gearbox? It's looking quite fine. It's actually our best gearbox now. And it also has a fine durability. So let's give that to Wachowski. We're gonna, of course, put all our eggs in the Wachowski basket. That means he gets the better car. It might make Tulipano a little bit angry, but I'm okay with that. We need this first place. And to do that, we need to give Wachowski here the best car possible. So that is just the way it's gotta be. And I don't mind that. And he's not even angry, actually. He is barely not angry. So we have a quite good break. I think if we now look at our parts, yeah, we're in 5th now for the gearbox, in 2nd for the brake set, and in 8th for the suspension. Unfortunately, the suspension is quite important, but, well, you can't win them all. Yeah, we're picking 1st. All parts are now good. Let's just have one more quick check. All looking good. Yes, okay. Alright, well, let's get into it then. Wait, is the brake set? Yeah, okay. I thought for a second I picked the wrong brake because it was gray, but we just never actually made a second brake. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. 5.4 million, let's go for it. On to England. Always a nice track. A little bit like Silverstone, I guess, is the equivalent. So let's see what we can do. It's not a home race for any of our drivers, I think. We have a Ukrainian driver now, and I think Tulipano is Italian, from the top of my head. So yeah, not a home race for our drivers, but definitely a home race for our sponsor. And I would love to get that extra money from them. Yeah, Italian. There you go. Alright, let's as always get our best feedback that we can. And let's have a look actually. We have smoothness 10. What is your smoothness again? Sorry, quickly. Okay, what is happening? Smoothness 11. Okay, so Tulipano and Wachowski are very similar in smoothness. Great. And that means that we can just check Wachowski's for the tire. 8 to 10. Okay, so we need to do 23 laps. We should be fine then doing 3 stints on super softs, because that gets us 24 laps at minimum. Unless we run them, of course, way too aggressively, but I don't plan on doing that. So that should be okay. And if really need be, we can always, of course, go back for one set of softs. But preferably, we just do super softs, because we could use the extra power. Alright. I think that's also what helped us a lot last race. You could tell that, yeah, obviously Ruiz Motorsport, they have the best car. They also have the best drivers. But the AI sometimes just makes dumb mistakes. And in this case, they decided to do 2 stints, I think, on mediums before going to the soft. That just made it so that both Kumar and Sozev had a tough time actually getting up front. Which was, of course, to our benefit. But even then, Sozev still managed to get second. So, yeah, we do need the AI to sometimes make a few mistakes. Luckily, they do. So, let's hope they do again this race, because we really need that first place. And if we don't get it, then, well, it's not the end of the world, but it'll put our financial situation a little bit worse, let's say. Poor, very poor, so something like that should be okay. And you're actually excellent on the downforce, that's very nice. Because that one tweaks the other 2, so now we don't have to worry about that. You're already at good, so let's go that way. And you are obviously way off. Let's do something like that. Hopefully that is good enough. I would love to get a tier 3 super soft. Despite obviously, yeah, it might rain. It's predicted to rain at least, but if we can still get those bonuses, at the very least the race trim to level 3, that would be very nice. Looks like we'll have to bring you out one more time. You were poor here. I think we went a little bit too far on the downforce actually, and too little on the speed balance. Let's try something like this, and then bring you right back where you were, just about. Alright, and you are now excellent, excellent, excellent. That is perfect. Means we can just run you out for the rest of the race. Get out there, 98% is more than enough. Go get us all that knowledge, if you can. And let's bring Wachowski in one more time. Or Dior, actually, sorry. You went worse on the downforce? I didn't even think I moved that. So you're very poor here, good here, and poor there. Okay, so then we just need to bring you just like that. A little bit more, maybe. And the other two were already great, so let's just bring that just about back. And I think that's fine. I trust that that will become a good percentage, let's say. Alright, let's see if we can get to level 3. That would be very nice. And we're actually setting some decent lap times, even with a fuel tank that is basically filled to the brim, so very nice. Let's see how we do. Dior is obviously not doing so hot, but Kowalski is getting his amazing car, of course. Alright, tier 3 right on time. Let's bring in Dior one more time, just to see. We could still bring him out once more if we really need to. Great, great, great. That is good enough, to be honest. Yeah, you're at 93%. I don't mind. Just... actually, we don't even need to bring you out anymore. We're already at 3, so... what is the point? Alright, good. We got basically exactly what we wanted from that practice, at least. Let's see now what we can do on race day. No one is talking about us. Except Tom Berg, who is... well, he's not talking about us. He's talking about himself, how he's not doing too well. Alright. Okay, that looks like rain rather early on in the session, but... that is at least 4 laps of tints that we need to run on. Sorry, there's 4 laps of slicks that we need to run on. And then we should probably go to either inters, but if it ramps up, then I guess we'll just go for wet. So, okay, interesting. Super soft tires wear more slowly. Normally I would very much consider taking that one, but since we're not sure at all how long we're actually going to be running on super softs, I don't think it's in our favor to do that. If it wasn't gonna rain today, I would have definitely picked it, by the way, because this one, I think, adds something like 25% to the durability of your tire. So we could run them really aggressively if we wanted to. Or even try something like a one stopper or something. I'm not sure how much fuel we're getting. I guess we can have a quick look. We're getting 10 laps. Okay, yeah, one stop would be a little bit tough. We'd have to like run on blue the entire time, pretty much. But yeah, anyway, we're not doing that. We are going to run super aggressively, actually. Pretty much like destroy the tires immediately, full on with heat. I don't care at all about the fuel that we're burning or the tires that we're churning, because we're going to be switching in 5 and 6 laps probably. I think we'll bring in one person at 5 laps and the other at 6. We should know much more about the weather by that time, whether we need to go to wets, intermediates, or even if the rain just drops off again, but I kind of doubt it. And depending on what happens then, we'll see. But for now, let's just run as aggressive as we can. Looks like no one else is starting on wets or inters, which is just, yeah, logical. You're not gonna run like 4 laps on slicks, or sorry, on inters when they're just so bad on the dry. That's pretty much suicide. Especially since you also don't know if you're gonna go for inters or wet. It is looking like inters so far. It's not ramping up too hard, but you never know. Tulipano gained some spots. Bohovsky, on the other hand, is just running away. He doesn't need to gain spots because he is way at the top. And like I said, we're gonna run this super aggressively, even with 18 degrees. I know it's a little bit warm. We're gonna be getting that temperature up really hard, but I'm completely fine with it because, well, what's the point of... oh wow, Sosev is gaining like crazy. Kumar luckily not yet, but Sosev is slicing through the competition. So that will be our main competitor probably for that first spot. Hopefully Tulipano can gain some spots as well, but we'll have to see. Volsky meanwhile is running away with the race. He's already in 5th. Very good. Ooh, that is looking like wet actually. Very interesting. I think at the end of the next lap, I want to switch. Right now, there's no point in switching yet. I don't think I'm going to come in yet. Wow, Tulipano actually overtook Sosev. That is very nice. We have a 6-second gap. That is already a very nice gap to have. I think we're gonna go for wets looking at this. Otherwise we'd have to go too quickly to... yeah. Yeah, we'd have to go off too quickly again. Now the main concern is, of course, how are we gonna run this race out? Are we gonna try and do 2 more stops now? Well, we have to anyway, but... do we want to play this is now the question. Let's stop in front of the pit entrance. Get as much information as we can. This is right about... if you do it, I think, like here, you're not going to get the pit anymore. You need to do it up front. It is looking like it's going to rain for a while, and it is really looking like wets is the right answer here. But I would like to switch as late as possible to give ourselves a bit of fuel. We're going to be in lap 5 in about 10 seconds, basically. That does mean that we currently have... we'll have 19 laps remaining if we pit now. Which is doable on the fuel, because we're going to get 20 laps of fuel worth if we stop 2 more times. So the question is, are we going to do 1 more lap out in the rain? Yes, of course. But who is going to do that is the question. These people are going on inters. I think that's a huge mistake. Because I don't think you're running out the race unless you really conserve your fuel, which Sosev appears to be doing. I don't think going on inters here is the correct choice, though. Because you're only going to enjoy what is effectively 3 laps of the inters being the best choice. That doesn't seem very worth it, to be honest. Alright, I think we're going to bring in Tulipano. He's going to get the 19 laps worth. We're just going to bring in the wets. I don't want to go on anything else. Do a fast pit stop as always. And we'll actually run out Vyhovsky for 1 more lap. Just really destroy the tires, destroy the fuel. He has a 7-second gap, so hopefully that's enough to make sure that he gets out first anyway, even when he pits. And we'll have to see. But then this is more optimal for him, because the wets are going to be better the later you put them on. Right now these wets are not going to be very good at all. Not be burning the fuel too hard. Let's put you on yellow-orange for now, because these wets should last you quite long. And yeah, Vyhovsky is gonna hit in a little bit. We're still gaining, not obviously on the people on the wet, but yes, I know the tire wear is not helping your lap times. We have till 15%, so that is just about perfectly timed. And let's get you in now as well. And again, yeah, we're just gonna go to the wets, because there's only 2 laps basically that we would still be gaining, 2 to 3 laps of well, better performance, let's say, if we were to pick the inters. I don't want to do that. So let's just go on wets. All looking good. Refueling happening. Perfect. These are the people we need to come out ahead of. No one else here has pitted yet, so that's perfectly fine. We cannot be running you too aggressively. We'll run you on orange. But yeah, you should be able to do orange for the rest of the race almost. Yeah, most people are now also going on wet. I think Sosev is making a big mistake, because he's not running out the race on those inters with only 1 more pit stop to go. There's no way. Yes, he's gonna pass us right now basically because he's on those inters, but he's not gonna gain enough in the 2 more laps that he can run them on, I think. Yeah, I know Sosev went past you, don't worry, it's fine. He's gonna have to pit really soon, and I don't think he's running out the race on that next pit stop, so he still has to pit twice, despite us only having to pit 1 more time. I think that's a huge mistake. Let's hope we can run out this race without crashes or anything else, because I think Sosev is going to get a horrible placement. Hopefully. Alright. Yeah, the people on inters are obviously crushing us a little bit for now. We're already 4 seconds behind, but I think next lap is going to be where we start becoming better too at the rain, as this water, it's right about here. I think the gap where inters sort of start dropping off and the wets become better. Orange is looking fine. I think for you we also need to start running on orange for a little bit, otherwise these gaps are going to be a bit awkward spaced between Tulipano and Vyhovsky. We don't want to pit them at the same time. Yeah, as you can see now the gap is not becoming much bigger anymore. This is where he needs to start pitting, otherwise he's going to lose way too much time. Looks like the rain is gonna taper off around lap 12/13. Interesting. Okay, Sozev opted to stay out. I think that's gonna cost him a bit. This rain is really getting there. Yeah, see? Now the gap is bridging. Okay, well that's really bad for him, because he needs to either run this out and try and go for only one more stop, which I don't think he can. He's gonna have to do like 4 full laps on suboptimal tires. He's gonna have to pit, right? We're even catching up to him right now. Interesting. Let's have a quick look, by the way. How many laps are we going to have to do still? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before the rain probably really drops off. Yeah, it's starting to get sunny. So if we can do, let's say, 5 more laps on Tulipano and 6 more on Verhovsky, that would be ideal. And that should be very possible with the tires and with the fuel that we have. How are you're stopping, right? You have to be. Yeah, I thought so. I would have been very, very confused if Sozev didn't stop there. Alright, so we already have a 12-second gap to third. Sozev is getting overtaken. It doesn't look like it went too bad for him. He's sort of coming out where he was anyway, but he still also has to do one more stop after. No, this went horrible for him, actually. I think he was somewhere in 7th, and now he's in 14th. So, yes, he has fresher tires. Yes, he can push a bit harder, but this was not good for him at all. This went very poorly for him, frankly. Alright, yeah, it looks like it's gonna dry up very quickly. Verhovsky is gonna get a pretty much perfect timing, I think. Lepano not. He's gonna have to run 1 lap probably on flicks when he really shouldn't be, but that's okay. It is what it is. Hopefully Lepano can hold Kumar off, who he's fighting right now. Yeah, well, it is what it is. We're just gonna have to do the best we can. We're giving him orange. That's pretty much all we can give him, because he is gonna need to run for quite a while still. If we were to pit after this lap, we'd have 13 laps remaining. He's gonna do about 3 more laps after this, so yeah, we're basically running him out on yellow after this. Yeah, Tulipano doesn't get as much leeway because we pitted him 1 lap earlier than Verhovsky, but that's okay. Anyway, we're trying to get our points, of course, via Verhovsky and also get all this money, which is the main goal of today's episode. But, of course, all the points that we can get would also be very important. Sozev put himself in a very awkward position. He's quite far behind everyone, but I do imagine he'll still be up there somewhere by the end of this. Let's have a look at Tulipano. What can we do for you? You just crossed the finish line. Kumar is about 0.3 seconds behind you right there. You have, if you were to pit now, basically after the next lap, then we have 12 laps remaining. You're going to be doing 3 more actually, so we can run you a little bit aggressively. We'll run you on overtake mode for a little bit there, and maybe even red tires, because it's not the end of the world to start chunking those a little bit. You only have a few laps left. Let's run you on red for a little bit. Wets can last quite long, so that's not an issue at all. Yeah, let's see if we can get you a little bit away from Kumar. Alright. 2 more laps probably till we bring Tulipano in. And then he should be right around, let's say, the level where my mouse is, but then down a bit more. So that should be okay. That's anyway where wets aren't really great anymore, but we have to go for slicks, of course. We cannot be running inters anymore for just this. That's too much. Yeah, let's see. Sozev, meanwhile, is on the freshest tires, but he's not doing too much anymore with what he has. We can run 1 more red lap, probably. Not an issue. Could also just go for orange to finish it off. Yes, this is when he's really gonna get through these tires, but that's okay. Alright, and this is when we're really gonna start drying up. Not gonna be an ideal timing for Verhovsky, I think. But, well, he has a gap of 12 seconds, so he shouldn't really need it, to be honest. And we're gonna get pretty much perfect on the fuel. Let's start also destroying your tires now. You still have a lot left. And yeah, you're gonna do one more lap on this and then bring you in. Alright, perfect. Yeah, it's still very wet out right now, but by the time we're done with the next lap, it won't be so wet anymore. Looks like the first people are already gonna come in. I assume that will be slicked. Yeah, not the ideal timing for them either, because it is still quite wet on track. But let's bring in Tulipano. And we are gonna go for the super soft. Well, we have 10 laps remaining, 8 to 10. That is more into the soft territory, actually. Yeah, that'll just have to do, I think. Okay. Kind of underestimated how long the super softs were gonna last us there. That sucks because we also have the bonus, of course. We could try to make it to 10, but I would rather not. I think with softs we can run them a bit more aggressively. I think that's probably the better choice. Otherwise we have to run out this race with, well, an awkward timing, let's say. For Vovsky we can probably just go to the super softs, so that will be nice for him, but I think for Tulipano, softs will just be the way to go. Alright. You're gonna cross the finish now at almost... Yeah, that'll be perfect for you. Means we're also gonna bring you in now. And you are definitely gonna go for the softs. 9 laps for you. Yeah, softs should be perfectly fine there. We're not gonna be running them too aggressively, but with the temperatures going up, as you can see, it should be fine. We can always cool them off a little bit if we have to. Alright, Tulipano coming in for his stop. Looking good on all the tires. Refueling looking good. Perfect, get out of there. And we can run something like this. We can't burn the fuel too hard, but we can maybe run the tires a little bit more aggressively. Coming out in 4th, so that's not bad at all, actually. Kumar is in 6th, where's Sozev? Now coming in at 12th. Okay. Yeah, Vovsky doesn't have a great timing right now. This is when I wouldn't want to be on the wets, of course, anymore, but I don't think it's the end of the world either. Anyway, slicks weren't good in this level of wetness either, so this is okay for now. Push you out there. Alright, we can't be running these too aggressively. We can run the fuel on orange for the rest of the race. And the tires will probably just keep like this on yellow. That should be fine. Alright, how is it looking over here in the fighting pack? Kumar is a good 2 seconds behind Tulipano, so that's not too bad. He is running more aggressively on his tires, but less aggressively on his fuel, actually. Interesting. Let's hope we can keep that gap open, but we'll have to see. Main part is, of course, getting Vovsky there. He now has a gap of 15 seconds, down to second, so we even gained something like 3 seconds, I think, there. Very nice. Let's see how we can now run out the race. We've done all our pit stops. We had no mistakes, which is very nice, actually. Let's see how we run out the race now. We have 8 laps left, I believe. Yep, so perfect fuel pretty much. Tire is looking fine. This is when our tires are going to be good, but everyone's tires are going to be good. And the gap is looking quite fine, actually. That's not too bad. I don't know if Tyler is going to run out this race, to be honest, at this level. Same for Batista. I think they came in quite early, went to supers, and now they're just destroying them. Yeah, you're not running out the race on those tires. Okay, well that's nice. So provisionally we're probably in 4th. Problem will be holding Kumar off with Tulipano. Meanwhile, Vovsky can just try and safely run out the race. If we need to, we can start conserving his tires a little bit. 14 seconds is a huge gap. Should be perfectly fine. Sabato is even running rather aggressively, so I'm not even sure he's going to run out the race with the tires that he has. That depends a lot on what he's going to do with it. How are you looking for fuel? 7 laps remaining from here, so you can run like 1 lap on orange if need be. But we do need to start conserving your energy a little bit, so let's keep it like yellow for now. How are you looking? 13.6 seconds. I think we're gonna conserve your tire for a little bit here. should be kind of okay. I'm not scared of Sabato. He's destroying his tires much harder than we are. So he's gonna hit the cliffs first too. I'm not too scared of that. Are you holding off Kumar? Actually quite decently, even on yellow because he's going blue. Okay, that's perfect for us. That means we can also start conserving a little bit in our tires. Try and keep them a little bit on the cooler side, and then if need be we could put them back up when we need it, if Kumar decides to attack again. Doesn't look like he is though. I think he realized he burned a bit too hard through his fuel and his tires, and that's why he's now going blue. Otherwise he won't be able to run out the race. Meanwhile Sozev, like I said, he made a huge mistake going for those inters. I guess they tried to just do a gamble and they lost on it because it rained much harder, but even they should have been able to see that. It's not like we have a scouting, a weather forecasting center or anything. That's just the AI making a bit of an error, I suppose. He's in 11th, that's really good for us. We should be getting a lot of points here for the championship fight. And on top of that, a lot of money. Let's knock on wood. Because obviously if Sozev now rams a wall, then... if Volsky rams a wall, then none of that is actually going to happen. But let's see. 13 seconds, so this gap is barely narrowing, despite them running their tires much more aggressively. Perfect for us. We're getting the heat down a little bit here, but I do notice that gap is shrinking a little bit. So let's bring back up the tire a little bit as well. Temperature is looking fine for now anyway. You are pushing again a little bit, yeah, I thought so. 4 laps remaining. We can probably also start pushing on orange in a second. We can also run the tires on orange again if we need to. Yes, okay, perfect. Yeah, we can run orange for a while. Let's hold them off if we can. Would love to keep both our drivers above the Ruiz Motorsport guys. These tires are looking perfectly fine. Let's bring you back to yellow. Make sure that this gap doesn't shrink too much. Sabato is cutting it really close. Yeah, you can tell he's already running on backup mode on his tires because he's cutting that way too close. Tyler, I don't think he's gonna not to race. He is running on red on those tires. I don't think you're running out the race with 3 laps to go on red. You're gonna need to go to backup, or his tire is gonna hit the cliff and then we could overtake him quite easily, probably still. Let's see what happens. We are on orange, pretty much perfectly fine. With 3 laps to go, neither our tires or our fuel should run out. We won't be able to run Tulipano out on orange, I think, but well, we'll see. Yeah, see, Batista here really miscalculated that. And I think the same might happen to Sabato and Tyler. They need to do 2.5 more laps on this. Especially Tyler is looking very rough, I would say. Alright, 2.4 left, so you can just run out on orange. We don't need to be messing with the tires. We're pretty much completely safe from our pursuers as long as we don't mess up. You are now starting to churn through your tires. Yeah, there you go. Tyler goes in for the pits. That gives us provisional 4th. Let's see what Sabato does, I'm not sure. We still have 2 seconds on Kumar, but I do want to start bringing back the temperature a little bit. As long as we have the excess fuel marker, I don't mind going on orange, but let's keep an eye on it. I don't want to run out of fuel. A lot of people here are pitting, actually, wow. The AI just ran this race really bad. Which is of course very good for us, but interesting to see, let's say. You are still running fine. Yeah, you can run out the race. You're even getting into the back markers now. That is very funny. How are we doing? Kumar behind us. 3 seconds now, actually. The gap widened. Yeah, you should be able to run out on orange. You had 1.1 lap of fuel left. Your tire is completely fine. Let's bring that back to neutral. You're not burning through it as quickly anymore. Cavalcanti is out of fuel. Oh, he's ahead of us. Okay. That is interesting. Let's bring you back just to be sure you don't mess up your fuel, but I think that's fine. Yeah, we just overtook Cavalcanti for free. Sabato is quite far ahead of us, but he's hitting his cliff right now, I think, as well. Yeah, look at that gap. Alright, awesome. Vielski got P1. That means we get 5.5 million, basically. I don't think we're going to be overtaking Sabato. The gap was just a little bit too much. If we had 1 more lap, I think we could have got on him. But again, we get the 1st spot and the 3rd spot with Vovsky and Tulipano. Meanwhile, Kumar and Sozev, where's Sozev, are finishing in 6th and 7th. I think they missed time too, actually. Oh, he's going even worse. He's hit his cliff. He's getting overtaken by everyone. Kumar finished in 6th, so he got overtaken by someone as well. I think Tyler. And Sozev, wow, he has a disaster race. He gets overtaken right at the end by 3 more cars because he hit his cliff on the softs. A disaster race for Ruiz Motorsport and an incredible one for us because of that. Not sure what the point differential will be, but that was a huge swing in our favor, I think. We'll still be trailing probably, but that should be a comfortable chase for us now. As long as we don't mess up horribly in the next few races, this was a very important step towards promoting. Let's see what they did. Yeah, see, he pitted 3 times because he first went to softs, which is already horrible because there was going to be rain, of course. You wanted to be on supers. Then he went to inters, which I guess he thought maybe would be quicker. He did overtake us, to be fair, for a little bit, but then he still needed to switch to the wet and then tried to run out on softs that actually didn't make it all the way to the end. And then he got overtaken by like 4 more people or more. Yeah, horrible race from him. Kumar, on the other hand, pretty much did the same as us, but I think he also ran out of either fuel or tire at the end, and he still got overtaken by Tyler, who did 3 stops, to be fair, but he did it a little bit smarter, and still managed to get 4th at least. But yeah, I think we ran out the race pretty much perfectly. I'm glad we picked the softs on Tulipano, because we could have seen a very similar circumstance as Tyler here, where we would still need to go pit one more time for softs. So I'm not too unhappy about that at all. Would have, of course, liked the 1-2, but Sabato was a little bit too quick for us, even though he ran out of, I think it was tire. I think he hit his cliff, but not bad at all. All right, we didn't get the fastest lap. That one went to Sabato, but luckily it didn't go to Sozev or Kumar. So not bad at all. We get a huge amount of points here. And of course, we went above the sponsor objective, so that is a huge amount of money. Race winner, another trophy for Vovsky, who is becoming a real menace. Already winning 2 trophies ever since entering. He's not going to be even pole position anymore, as you can see. He's now in 19th. Actually level on points with Batista. That's a shame that we are not 1 spot below him. Actually, Dreyfus is also in here. Oh yeah, because Coburn is a free agent, but she's still in the ranking. That means we're going to be starting P3 next race with Vovsky. Still very good. He should be able to comfortably beat Batista and Dreyfus. He might be behind them for a little bit, but he has a good overtaking skill, so that should be fine. We are now only 5 points behind Ruiz Motorsport, so we close the gap by another 12 points. We are just steaming ahead. We have also actually bridged the gap, or made the gap between us and 3rd and 4th a lot larger. We're actually 35 points clear of Vexala, so that is very nice as well. But of course, there's only 1 spot we care about, and that is 1st. We're not just there yet, but if we have a good race next race weekend already, we might actually be able to overtake them or go level. Of course, on the other hand, if we have a bit of a disaster race due to a crash or whatever else, then yeah, we might just as well go down in the points again. Let's hope that doesn't happen. As always, I think our drivers should be earning some points because they are not at their maximum star potential yet. Very nice. Relationship with the mechanic is going up by a lot. We came in 1st, also very nice. And of course, our chairman is very happy with us. And yeah, this is what we like to see. 6.5 million for 1 race. That's not something you see often early on. This is the kind of money making is exactly what I like to see. Yeah, thanks Darren, me too. Yeah, that's 7.5 million from these sponsors, which is insane, of course. That's not something we should get used to because it's not something we're going to get soon at all. I think our only home bonuses that we have are in Guilford, and that race unfortunately only runs once in the European Racing Series. That's a bit of a shame, but not too bad anyway. A few of our races are also very soon going to drop off. Actually, all of them within 4 races, so that's not bad either. And we have the Stonewall Bank bonus for 3 more races, so that means, well, we can at the very least earn that 1.8 million as long as we run our races well. A very useful episode, I'd say. We actually earned a lot of money. This is money that we're going to be saving up for a little bit. We might start building our test track, which takes about 24 weeks. That, yeah, the earlier the better, of course. We might start on this if we notice that promotion is looking very likely. We don't need it yet if we're not going to promote, of course, because next season we would still be in the European Racing Series, where the engine is a spec part. Sorry, jeez. But yeah, if we do promote, then we really want to test track and upgrade the engine as quickly as possible. So we'll have to see. We still have, what is it? 4 races left. Let's see, a race takes about a month, which is 4 weeks. If we were to start building now, that would be... Oh, actually it's 3 weeks, let's say, per race. So 4 times 3 is 12. And then we would have the off season, which is now another, let's say, 8 to 12 weeks. Interesting. If we were to start building right now, it would probably be done before the start of next season. On the other hand, we could also just be working on the first 2 engines and then start working on some other parts that we anyway also need to get up there. I think if we do promote to Asia, it's not gonna be the first season that matters the most anyway. We won't do too well then. We'll just be in survival mode most likely. So let's wait till after Tondela. Then we should know more. If we're like level, let's say, with Ruiz Motorsports, then I'm quite confident that we'll be able to beat them. But for now, then let's not start yet. Let's just wait these 3 weeks and go at it next after Tondela. I think that's fine. All right. Well, for now, I think this was a very useful episode. We're only 5 points ahead or behind Ruiz Motorsport now. We have made a crap ton of money, which is always what we like to see, of course. That is a lot better for our war coffin that we'll definitely need if we do promote. I'm very happy about that. So I want to say thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and have a good day. Bye bye.